Okay, this is the role of a sports psychologist. You'll need this for your second part of your assignment 5, and it will be submitted online as a poster. So the first role of a psychologist is in education. In education, a psychologist will work in 3 main areas. Number 1 is working with different educational establishments such as universities. They'll also work with trusts such as the NHS or potentially big organisations such as Sports Coach UK. They also work with athletes one-to-one. A lot of athletes have been accredited with an increase in performance because of the direct work through their psychologist. They also will work with different educational establishments, different promotions to produce literature, so leaflets, booklets and journals. What you have to do for your assignment is give me some information on this, giving 2 examples of where a psychologist may do research and the impacts of that, why they do it. One example that you could give is working with university programs such as Team Bath. They get to get exposure with elite athletes, but through that, through their research, they get to improve sports science in a whole. Okay, the next area that you'll need to look at is the role of a psychologist in research. Why do they get involved in research? So this is connected to education still. We know that there is an effect on performance in regards to arousal. What a psychologist needs to do is have the information to be able to control that level of arousal using different techniques, and the only way we get this is through effective research, looking at motivation, how to regulate it, and how to use techniques such as imagery and mental rehearsal to help you. What I would like you to do with research is just give me some areas of research that you think a psychologist could help to work with. So I've given you 1, motivation, but I would like you to think of 2 areas that they could work in and how they might use techniques to help with those areas learnt through research. Okay. The next area we're going to look at is their role in consultancy. Now, consultancy means that you are paid to fulfill a particular job. What you will need to do is provide a definition of what consultancy is while explaining that yourself, okay, so your own definition. So in terms of injury rehabilitation, people may bring in a psychologist to help bring the athlete back to their normal levels. Usually with athletes, they may have no physiological problems, it's all psychological, it's all in their head. So what you need to do is identify how a sports psychologist will be able to help 2 different sporting examples, what techniques they might use and how this will affect the performer. An example may be myself. I got injured at a younger age where I hurt my knee. Physiologically, my body is fine now, but mentally, I'm still scared that I will injure myself again. What type of techniques could a psychologist use and how could that affect my performance? Moving on, we've also got performance enhancements. Now this is one of the more well-known areas that a psychologist may work in. It was only in 2012 there was a big psychology team headed up by this guy here to try and improve athletes just by that 1%. And as a lot of the sports academy students would have seen, that 1% could have made the difference between a bronze and a gold. How does a sports psychologist help the performer? Well, they prepare them for the performance, they help them during the performance, and then they prepare them for events that occur in competition. What you need to do is give 2 sporting examples of where a sports psychologist could help individuals or a team, and then give me examples of techniques that they might use and how this will affect performance. Moving on. The next one is team building. As we've seen this year in the Premiership, there are teams that really gel and are very cohesive, and there are teams that have lost their cohesion from really successful previous seasons. Manchester United. A psychologist will look at the function of the group and some of the individuals and try to sort out the group dynamics and give them common goals and the same identity so they're all aiming for the same thing, increasing that cohesion. What you need to do is to give 2 examples of how 2 sporting examples where a psychologist could come in and help the team, and what techniques they may use to sort out the group dynamics, the cohesion, or just identifying who a leader is and helping the team follow that one leader. An example you could use this year is Liverpool. At the moment, a lot of Premiership clubs are really gunning for Liverpool's football club's psychologist, because he has done such a phenomenal job with a group of athletes on paper which would be seen to be a lesser team than others, which are performing very, very well. So what particular techniques is he using, and what's the impact on the performance? Remember, you need to give me 2 sporting examples. The last area we're going to look at is lifestyle management. So everything the athlete does in the day, in the night, will have a direct impact on their performance in events. A psychologist will look at what happens not just in their competitive life for performance enhancement, but also what's happening in their non-competitive life. Are they sleeping enough? Are they eating the right things? Are they dealing with stress appropriately? Are they doing techniques through the day to help them maintain their mental focus? What you will need to do again is give 2 examples of different lifestyles that a psychologist may be able to deal with or resolve, and what techniques they may use to help. You can use real life sporting examples, so you could use examples of athletes that can't deal with stress appropriately, like John McEnroe. Wayne Rooney was one of those people that suddenly changed. Maybe that's a psychologist, and what techniques they may use to help them. Okay, so that is the poster. It's very simple. For pass criteria, you just need to outline all the different areas that we've talked about. For merit, you need to be able to apply them to 2 sporting examples and explain what technique is going to be used and what the impact is in terms of performance, okay, or the particular heading or topic you're talking about. So, for example, lifestyle management.